Nearly a decade before stringent emission norms made it impossible to run two-wheelers without fuel injection, Hero gave us this, the Glamour 125, India's first fuel-injected motorcycle. It's been one of the strongest contenders in the 125cc space, but has always been overshadowed by the Honda CB Shine. For 2020, it gets a 5-speed transmission, brand new mechanicals, and more importantly, a BS6 compliant engine. How have these changes made an impact? Well, here are 2 things that work in favor of the Glamour 125 and 3 areas where we believe it could have done better. Small capacity motorcycles seem to be the worst affected ones after being updated to BS6 norms, and the Glamour 125 is no different. The 125cc mill now puts out slightly less power and torque than before, but the BS6 Glamour has an ace up its sleeve, a 5-speed transmission. The meat of the power band lies in the mid-range. Since the initial gear ratios are short, it allows you to get up speed fairly quickly. And once you're on the go, you can easily slot into 5th and the engine can pull away cleanly from speeds as low as 25 kmph. The sheer tractability of the motor, along with better fueling and a crisp throttle response, makes the BS6 Glamour 3 kmpl more frugal than the BS4 version within city limits. Hero's trademark i3S start-stop technology does play a key role in delivering great city fuel efficiency. The system works flawlessly as it comes to a halt within seconds of slotting the bike into neutral at a traffic light. Just pull on the clutch lever and the engine springs back to life. Not only does the 5-speeder prove to be beneficial in the city, but also on the highway as it improves the Glamour's cruising capabilities. It's able to sustain 70 kmph on the highway, but the engine does show some signs of strain. Thereby dropping the speeds down to around 60 to 65 kmph would keep the motor in its sweet spot and deliver an incredible fuel efficiency of 69.5 kmpl. The first thing that you notice about the BS6 Glamour as soon as you swing your leg over is just how light it is. While other two-wheelers have managed to gain weight during the BS6 transition, this on the other hand has managed to shed 3 kgs. It manages to do so with a brand new chassis with revised suspension components. Hero has also increased the Glamour's wheelbase and ground clearance compared to its predecessor. The slightly longer wheelbase adds extra stability to the Glamour, which is easily felt while commuting or out on the highway. But don't mistake its sure-footedness for laziness, because the Glamour does a pretty good job of slicing through traffic. Hero commuters now come with a new feature called Auto Sail. It's very similar to the glide-through traffic technology that we experienced recently on the TVS Apache range. All you gotta do is slot the gearbox into first and gently let go of the clutch to sail slowly through traffic. The system is active in all gears and up to 25 kmph. While the 8 does its job, it isn't as seamless as TVS's GTD. The BS6 Glamour's loss in performance is evident in its acceleration figures. It's half a second slower from 0 to 60, but maintains its composure in the in-gear roll-on accelerations. The BS6 model may be slightly slower, but that's acceptable considering the Glamour is a commuter. More importantly, it doesn't hamper everyday usability as it feels more responsive at low-end speeds and for city commuting. Having said that, we felt the engine refinement could have been better. The motor feels quite polished for the most part, but is no comparison for its former partner Honda's 125cc engine that we sampled earlier on the SP125. The Hero mill feels smooth below 60 kmph, but has mild vibes emanating through the tank and the foot pegs once you cross the 70 kmph mark. The suspension units are new with slightly longer travel, but if you're thinking that they're set up on the plush side, you might be in for a slight jolt. The Glamour's suspension is set up to carry extra load on board, so if you're planning to ride solo, the rear tends to be quite sharp. But once you get a pillion on board, the ride improves just slightly. As for the seat, its slightly raked design and soft foam density tends to get quite uncomfortable on long journeys. The more you sink into the seat, the more it intrudes with your tailbone. Anchoring the Glamour is a 240mm disc up front and a 130mm drum at the rear, which offer ample bite but lack feel and progression, thus not inspiring great confidence. The low rolling resistant MRF Nilo grip zappers aren't that grippy either. So despite weighing less than before, the BS6 Glamour took almost 2.5 meters more to come to a dead halt from 60 kmph. The use of plastics and materials, especially on the switchgear, feels subpar and inferior compared to its competition. Panel gaps are inconsistent, with fasteners coming loose in certain areas. Even the mirrors feel flimsy and tend to move around on rough roads. The semi-digital instrument console tends to fog up in the rains, rendering it difficult to read. The BS6 Glamour 125 is a decent, no-nonsense, practical commuter that offers great fuel efficiency in almost all riding conditions. With the updates it receives, we expected it to offer better refinement and finesse. Unfortunately, it doesn't, which is a bit of a letdown. Despite being the more premium of the two 125cc bikes from Hero, the Glamour has near about the same features as the Honda Shine, the trademark i3 tech being the feather in its cap. At a starting price of Rs 69,750, the Glamour is priced on par with the Honda Shine. While the Glamour 125 delivers well in terms of fuel efficiency and pricing, it misses out on comfort, bulletproof reliability and quality, aspects that are very crucial for a buyer in this segment.